Nurse Jackie started by coincidence. When I say by coincidence, I mean um, I'm a nurse in the long-term care, and in my off days, I clean for extra just to get my family to go by. And I used to clean for a special lady called Jasmine Singh. Miss Jasmine Singh, God bless her heart. And one morning, I used to go there every Wednesday. And one Wednesday morning, I went to her home in Cheltenham, and she was slumming the mudroom over her sink and in gripping pain. I grabbed her up. I said, Sing, what's the matter? She said, lots of pain. Jackie, I don't know what's wrong. And I move her inside, get her all comfortable, get her into good clothes, and said, I think something is wrong here, and maybe urinary tract infection, maybe something you eat, but I'm going to call for the ambulance. And I call for the ambulance, then I call her son, and they took her to Orangeville. I finished, she trusts me enough to finish cleaning. She didn't know I was a nurse. She didn't know I worked in the long-term care. I just went there as a cleaner. So I finished and locked the house, and the ambulance took her. I called, notified the son, and the son, they all went to Orangeville. She spent about 5 days in the hospital, and then she came home. When she came home, I had to clean for her after I used to go there every Wednesday. Very particular lady. She's from Guyana. She lived in Canada for over 60 years, and she loves to cater, and all that. But because she had several illnesses, she stopped going to church even after that episode. So when I went there the Wednesday morning, after she came back from the hospital, she said to me, Jack, you were right. I said, what happened? She said she had urinary tract infection and she had a fever and all that. So by this time, the doctor had to come in because she comes home. They're going to get the Ontario. By that time, it was CCAC. Then it was the LIN. Now Ontario Health at Home. So she's going to get that 1 hour. Somebody had to monitor the IV because she had antibiotics in the IV with a little bag that came with it. So the nurse said, we have to have a PSW that's going to monitor this. Anyhow, she was there setting up when the nurse came, and I was kind of, jumping around. And she said, oh, you know an awful lot. So I said to her, yes, I work in the long-term care. And Mrs. Singh said, you work in the long-term care and you didn't say anything to me? And right away, she said, I want nobody to look after me but Jack. That's what she called me. And I said, oh my God, I have my job. What am I going to do? Anyhow, I start going, and I go in the evenings until, with all that, everything started to come. She had lupus. She was a type 2 diabetes, and finding out all of this within the little time. So I end up telling her who I am, what I was about, and guess what happened after? I had to resign my 10 years of service at Maple Grove Care Community and take care of her for 4.5 years. And in COVID, she literally passed away in my hands. She told me, I get emotional now, that during this journey, please give your service to someone. How can you start something, Nurse Jack? She called me Nurse Jackie. She said, please give your service to the community. They need people like you. I registered the business for $60. She gave it to me on my pay. And I didn't look about it until 2022. I took it up seriously because I'm starting to witness what is going on in the community. And I just said, I'm going to honor her wishes. So this is where Nurse Jackie was born. I have